Hi there, it's winter in Chicago. I'm on my way to work. I cannot stop making videos. Yes, I think it's probably a problem. But, yeah. Ooh, I'm slipping and sliding over here. I was writing something in the description box of my last video as I was going to remove the option to view the ratings of my video, my last video, and removing the opportunity to leave comments. And I was thinking about fear. I was thinking about one episode that I had. Well, I was writing about one episode where I was kind of challenging some fears I had and how amazing it was that day. And then I thought of another opportunity, which I think it's a really great example that I want to share of what it's like to experience, to challenge your fears and experience them. So, but instead of writing in the description box, which I had thought to do, I thought, why don't I just make another video? Remember, you don't have to watch these long-winded videos of this one guy in Chicago's life, and, you know, there's so much great material and content out there, so if this doesn't float your boat, you know, I'm totally cool with you finding, you know, great material elsewhere. So, let's get right into it. Alright, so what is it? Alright, so when I was growing up, you know, abortion was thought of as a sin. It wasn't really talked about. I guess it was just like, I don't know, in my family, like my mother and father had a child for another family. So, like, having children, it was what you did. You don't abort children. You don't have a child and then abort it. And I didn't really think much about it. I just knew it was a sin as far as my church thought about it. But when I started to look into atheism and think that, you know, human beings are just the same as every other animal, and, you know, we have to think about the collective resources and the health and welfare of the mother and the father, and how children might be a drag and on the well-being of the parents and even wider society. You know, you might have to abort a child, and it's a very materialistic way to think, but that was my mind at that time. And I really embraced that idea, and I really gotta speed this up, so I only have like a few more minutes. I'm on my way to work and I'm almost there. Oh, I don't know if I could do that, but it's funny, even just thinking about that throws a wrench in my thought process. It makes it harder to express. But I'm gonna try to give you the short end of the stick, a short little video here. So I began to, you know, even though I thought it was a sin growing up, you know, I went the opposite direction, and I started to donate to organizations that helped women to abort fetuses. I did that. I supported Planned Parenthood, which I knew didn't only abort people, which I thought was maybe a problem, but also helped with contraception, which I thought was important. So that was my reasoning for that. But I know I also donated to an organization that helped women with the transportation costs of going to and from the abortion clinic. Anyway, when I found the divine truth, teachings, and Jesus, everything changed. Jesus is fairly categorical with saying that abortion is murder. It's basically murdering a child. This is a human being that goes into the world. If you abort that child, you're basically killing you're killing its physical body, and you're preventing it from having the opportunity of having a physical life on earth. Not that I covet physical life on earth. I think that's one of the reasons why I was drawn to the abortion idea. But anyway, so at one point, that was very challenging to hear that from Jesus. You know, he was very categorical, very, as he always is. He's very straight. He's not willy-nilly. There's no gray area. You know, if he doesn't know something about something, he tells you. I just don't know about that. But this I do know about, and this is wrong. This I do know about, and this is right. So anyway, I make a decision. Here's where I work. Those are the buses I drive. So I make a decision to go to I see these abortion protesters, pro-lifers, in front of this abortion clinic in Fargo. And they have pictures of dead fetuses and whatnot. And one of these days, I always think about, I want to go and talk to them. So one day, I know they always protest on Wednesdays, which is the day that women abort their babies. And I shouldn't say that only women are, in the process of abortion, because a man that is not supportive to the woman and the child, they're also acting in the action of abortion, of aborting. So anyway, I go to these people one day, and I'm on this truth, bender, and I want to say the truth all the time. So I talk to these people, and we have a good conversation. These people are I think they're mostly Catholic. One of the guys is a minister, and he tells me about the philosophy behind it, and I say, when do you think, because when do you think children actually become like children? When does the soul enter the body? Of course, I knew that Jesus says that it's basically after conception, but I was wondering what they thought. And I know there's Christian scholars that say, it's after a month, and other people say it's 2 weeks or something. So it's different everywhere. So I was asking all these questions. One of the ladies said, and there was a camera crew behind us. I was vaguely aware of that. They were viewing me, talking to them, and one lady said, "Are you with these people? Are you like a spy?" I was like, "No, I'm not." And I felt the condemnation from her. Really, I was honestly interested in talking to these group of people. It was 5 or 6 people, and then the camera crew came over and interviewed me and said, "What are you doing here? What are your thoughts?" And I said, "Well, I don't really believe in abortion anymore, and I'm wanting to talk to these people, get some information and see what they have to say." And then they asked me, why are you so sure that abortion is murder, like you say? And I said, "Well, because I have heard it from Jesus." And they said, "Well, what?" and I said, "Well, there's this guy in Australia who claims to be Jesus." And it was really hard for me to say that. There was a moment where I was like, do I really want to admit that? Do I really want to say that I'm following what this guy is saying? Isn't that a little bit crazy? She asked me who it was. I said it was this man who is named Alan John Miller, da-da-da. Anyway, so the real part of it that I wanted to say is that all through this process of talking to these Christians, I was in front of all these Christians, which I appreciated their time in giving me some time to converse with them. And then, I was confronted by this crew here, and these Christians have a problem with me thinking that Jesus is on earth, because they don't believe that. And this, camera crew, which I found out was actually, anti-pro-life or pro-choice, they I think are from a more materialistic, liberal point of view, and they probably think it's a big problem than I believe this quack in Australia from their perspective. So I went home on the bus, and even as I walked away, it was raining, it was a crazy day, and I had no umbrella, and it was a big moment. And I felt all this fear well up inside of me. And boy, was I shaking. I was shaking for a good 30 minutes. I had really challenged my fears. And I felt the experience of my fear at that time. It was incredible. It was incredible to be shaking. I walked on the bus, walking away from these people, I started shaking. I got on the bus, I was shaking. I was trying to kind of keep it down so it wasn't so obvious, but this was me experiencing my fear. It was a real thing. It was amazing, and I appreciate having that, and I hope that I can do more things like that. That's all. I got to get to work, so thanks for watching.